Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. Another nice-looking day. We'll get to your complete forecast here in just a bit. We're about 75 degrees on our way to 80. Slight chance of rain through the weekend, but no real significant rainfall being forecasted for us for the next few days. Next week could change a bit, though. No major incidents being reported up and down US 1 either, as we say good morning to Mr. Marathon. Is Mike Puto with us live in Marathon? I'm not sure where you are, but it sounds like you've got a busy background this morning, Mike.
Well, no, not too bad. No, we just, just cleaning up, getting ready to get today started. And so far so good. And Marathon is, it's busy, of course. We're getting into, just 10 days or 12 days before Easter now. So
Yes.
and the spring break is over for Monroe County, but there's still a couple of some spring breakers still here from some of the colleges, and they're the beaches are full, and everything is doing pretty well. I mean, it's nice to see people out there, but we've got a lot of in Marathon. There's a lot of construction going on with the sewer system and that kind of stuff along the airport side, but the sheriff's department has done a phenomenal job with traffic control. It was a circus there for a while, getting the cones up and everything else. And Derek Paul, who's our chief of police, does a real good job, and with his staff, and just staying on top of it, and just trying to do the best they can to make it simple. I mean, it's like I say, it's pretty tough out there when the cars all back up a little bit, but right now they're flowing pretty good. So we're happy that that's happening.
Yeah, had another successful seafood festival just the other weekend, 50th anniversary of that. You've seen many of those, I know.
Yeah, from day one.
Oh my gosh! Wow, and, that has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it has. I mean, it's been basically we've had, with the Seafood Festival and the Chamber of Commerce and the Organized Fishermen of Florida, OFF, they've been getting together. And, when you look at all the places that when they first got started all those years ago, it was over where Publix is now. We had the big parking lot there. And of course, at that time, the bank allowed us, the Marathon Bank and then the Marine Bank, and they allowed everybody to participate. And it was, it was a different thing as such, and basically it's expanded. Before they used to have it was a seafood festival, and there were no vendors or anything per se other than the commercial fishermen, doing the seafood thing, and now we've got there's maybe I think 150 or 200 vendors that show up, and that. It's a little bit of everything for everybody, I guess, if you want to say it that way. It's pretty neat.
Mr. Marathon, Mike Puto with us. What were you doing the first seafood festival? Were you serving up food? What were you doing?
Well, with the first one, we were just helping out with OFF, and it was strictly OFF at the time. It wasn't a chamber project. And now that they expanded and got more people to help out, it works out a little bit better. But back in the old days, when they first got started, I'm trying to think. I think it was like $10 or $12 for the meal, for example. But you got a piece of fish, and you got some shrimp, and you got some, some lobster, and there wasn't like a big decision. You just went through the line, and boom, 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 there it was.
Yeah.
Now they had all sorts of stuff. The organized fishermen get together and do a real good job with all the different types of food, and as such, and of course, it brings the people in, and then of course to the bands. We have different bands that play all during the day, and that's gotten bigger now. What used to be only a few of the bands. Now you got it all set up where there's usually maybe 10 or 12 different ones that come on there, and they play for 2 hours and 2 hours. It's really gets the crowd going. And the biggest thing, of course, is weather. If it's not too hot, then it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say they haven't renamed the Seafood Festival after you as of yet, but the football stadium is being renamed after you, the Michael H. Puto Stadium. And you've been described as local celebrity and longtime school booster. On January 27th, Monroe County School Board voted unanimously to name the school's football stadium in your honor. There will be a ceremony for the first football game in Marathon to memorialize that.
Yeah, well, what it is that it was very humbling experience, and they've been working on this for a while. It just didn't pop up overnight, but that I'm finding out. And of course, you get the different organizations out at the school with the middle school PTA, as they refer to as the advisory council, and then you got the high school, and everybody participated. And when we were at the board meeting for the school board, I'm going to say probably about maybe it was a month and a half ago or whatever, and so it was we got called calling over just to say hello, and it was sort of a surprising event because how they kept it a secret, I don't know. But at the meeting, the superintendent was doing his resolutions and that kind of stuff, and he made it a point to come up and say, well, I've got a final resolution here, number so and so, and I see that Mr. Puto's in the audience. And okay, I'm listening to this thing, okay, whoop-de-doo, here we go. And next thing you know, he says, the resolution so-and-so naming the Marathon High School football complex area there, the Michael H. Puto Stadium. Mm-hmm. And boy, I fell out of my chair. And it was so funny, it was just, it was pretty awesome and very, very humbling. We have a great system. We have a great principal out there. Christine Paul does a phenomenal job. And, and she's been in the community. Her family's been here, and basically her dad is, the school board chairman, John Dick. And, and they really, when the presentation got made, I was sitting there, whoa. And it was just, I could say, just very humbling to be able to do that. And again, it's one of those things where you appreciate the honor and the recognition. And I remember, gosh, it had to be 45, 50 years ago when Catherine S. Graddick, who was our principal at the high school, real neat lady. She when I taught school out there for I think 5-6 years. And she, I worked with her and between the coaching and training and all the other kind of stuff. And so they dedicated the gymnasium to her, which was the original old building. And then when the new school got built, they transferred it over to the new building. But it was just very humbling when she said, when they did it for everything, and the gymnasium was full and the band was playing. It was pretty awesome. And of course, she comes, she says, thank you very much for this recognition. And she said, isn't it nice that I'm alive and able to enjoy it? Mm-hmm. That's huge because normally you pass on. Mm-hmm. That's just the standard. Mm-hmm. And I remembered that. And when I said a few words there at the meeting, I said, bringing up Mrs. Graddick's name, I said, isn't it nice that I'm alive and able to enjoy this recognition? Because that's a big deal. And yes. I mean, to think about it. And so, it was pretty neat, and remembering her and that, with her name recognition. And here I joined a group, and I said, well, now I know how Bobby Bowden feels. So
there you go. Well, in the same league as Bobby Bowden, not so bad. It is Mike Puto, Mr. Marathon, with us on Good Morning Keys. And Mike, I know we kind of got you last minute here, so we're going to kind of wrap it up at that. But there's so many conversations we want to have with you. You have such a deep perspective and understanding of Marathon over the years, and we appreciate that. We honor you as well, and certainly want you to have a wonderful weekend, sir.
Well, we sure will. Looks like it's going to be great, and call anytime. I mean, what you pops up on the screen. Your name's on the phone and the whole bit, so I know it's not a fly-by-night thing. I say, oh my goodness gracious, and I appreciate that. And I try to be when I was the city manager, be at places, and I love this place, and and the bottom line is you get up there, and of course. Again, out of the clear blue, one of the reporters said, well, Mike, if there's a camera, microphone, or a free meal, you don't miss
it. Well, we'll count on that in the future then.
Maybe even anytime. We can do it. anytime you call up,
Yeah.
it pops up on the screen, and
Thank you.
we'll and I'll let you know if we're in the shower. We'll dry off real quick.
Okay, we won't do Zoom that day. That's for sure.
But no, it's great. Thank you for thinking about me, and like I said, it's always good to hear
Yes,
and
sir.
hear from you. And everybody have a good day out there, and be safe, and definitely be safe and be patient.
Yes.
and enjoy it. It's a great day to be alive.
It is. Thank you, Mr. Mike Puto. You have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon.
All right, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Mike Puto, Mr. Marathon, with us on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys will return in just a moment.
Key West authentic Irish pub, dining, and rooftop lounge is Celtic Conch Public House, 528 Front Street. The Celtic Conch always features delicious Irish cuisine and tasty pub grub with more than 40 Irish whiskeys, specialty cocktails, and local drafts. Ask about their daily food specials, plus the best in live entertainment. Monday, Milo plays from 5 to 8. Then it's Dean Dunleavy from 8 to 11. Tuesday, test your knowledge with trivia from 7 to 9, and Corey Hill plays live from 6:30 to 9:30. Wednesday features Just George from 8 to 11. Thursday, Milo is back from 4 to 7. Friday, Dean Dunleavy returns from 5 to 8, and then Milo entertains from 8 to 11. Saturday, come back for Dave Minneberg from 5 to 8, and Just George from 8 to 11. Then Sunday, Tony Roberts plays from 3 to 6. Celtic Conch Public House, 528 Front Street, Key West. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Sláinte.
Is the money you owe the IRS causing you to lose sleep at night? Are you worried about what will happen if people find out you owe the IRS all that money? Are you confused and wondering who to turn to discuss your tax problems? The IRS can be overwhelming, but you don't have to face them alone. I'm Miami tax attorney Steve Klitzner, and I've dedicated over 20 years to helping people like you navigate IRS problems. It's not just my experience here in South Florida. It's my commitment to your peace of mind. I understand the stress that comes with tax troubles. So if you're ready to take control of your IRS problems, give me a call at 305-682-1118 for a free confidential consultation. With me by your side, you may never have to talk to the IRS again. Let's fight the IRS together, because when it comes to taxes, you deserve peace of mind. 305-682-1118.
Your home is your castle, your sanctuary. Rack Advanced Control brings together the electrical and smart technology that make your home comfortable, secure, and effortless to live in. Imagine music flowing seamlessly through every room, beautiful lighting that adjusts to your lifestyle, motorized shades, climate control, and energy management all working together automatically. From integrated audio and video systems to discrete security cameras and professional electrical services, Rack Advanced Control designs and installs technology that works in perfect harmony. Originally founded in California, Rack Advanced Control has over 20 years of experience serving the luxury residential market and was honored as a 2024 Lutron Excellence Award Integrator. Now with an office in Key West, Florida, Rack brings world-class smart home design and electrical expertise to the Florida Keys. Make your home smarter, safer, and more enjoyable to live in. Call 786-647-9647 or visit rackav.com. Rack Advanced Control. Intelligent luxury, expertly installed.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. And we do have a traffic incident to report to you. Boca Chica, an accident which was showing some injuries as well. So keep that in mind. Accident with injuries. Oh, actually, no injuries. Excuse me. US 1, of course, the 6-mile marker Boca Chica field area. So keep that in mind as we are making you aware of that slowdown. This morning, we say good morning to Liz Young. She's Executive Director, Florida Keys Council of the Arts. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning to you and all your listeners.
Hi there. Yes. So thanks for being here. Saw you at the chamber event. You were at another. You're everywhere. Let it just be said. You are all over the place representing the arts and advocating for the arts, and we appreciate all of the work that you do in that regard.
Thank you so much. I thought it was a terrific turnout at the chamber. Very happy to see the mayor talk about all the good things that are happening and things that are coming along. And, doing the public art, I do get to do a lot of meetings in City Hall. So it was fun to see that video that she showed. If people haven't watched it, they should watch it because there is progress.
There
Even
is.
though
And
sometimes it feels a little on the slow side, things happen.
they take a while. You had said good enough for government work earlier on, and
Yeah.
that's what happens. Sometimes it takes a while to get through hurdles, but I think the message was that things are getting done, and they're trying to move things forward on the scorecard. And yeah, there was a lot of good news there. That video apparently will be available on Keys Living TV channel 27, which this show is now available on as well at
Oh,
11 a.m.
terrific.
5 p.m. So we'll be rolling that out as well, and you can get that on your app at the App Store as well as Roku streaming and channel 27. So the let's see, the Cultural Umbrella application and workshops. Have
I
we?
did two this week, had
Yeah.
huge attendance at both. I was smart enough to hit the record button. So if anybody is out there still trying to fill out a cultural umbrella application and you don't have time to call me or email me, I do have a copy of my Zoom workshop. Like you, we're in this Zoom world.
Yeah.
We answered a lot of questions. This is for funding, for marketing, and promotional items using TDC bed tax dollars. So again, it's to attract people from out of the county into the county to experience culture and history.
Hmm.
So it's not a hard application. It just has to be done thoroughly.
Hmm.
And so I give a little how to apply. And then I also tagged at the end of that workshop, both of them. I talked about the Art Builds Community Grant, which the Arts Council offers to artists and arts organizations. And that's not due till June 30th. But, I had a captive audience. So I also talked about filling out that application and what my board is looking for. So that was fun. Great to see everybody. And, like you and me, everybody's running a mile a minute. Everyone's just trying to get so many places and finish up big seasons. So I appreciated everybody's time and kept it succinct. And we've got another big event tonight. So we'll be in Big Pine tonight for another Connections pop up.
Hmm.
So that'll be at the Artists in Paradise Gallery. And this is number 9 of 10 pop-ups.
Oh,
So I'm very excited to have tonight happen.
and what time is that? Is that 5:30?
5:30.
Mm-hmm.
5:30 at the gallery, which is, the funnest, coolest gallery, I think, in the Lower Keys. I just love going there. Wonderful artists, always great hospitality, lots of parking in the Winn-Dixie Plaza.
Yeah, well, good. Well, 5:30 it is. Big Pine and the Pop Up Connections project. Wow, you're in the home stretch of that. Then 9 of 10. That's been a busy season too, no doubt about
It
it.
has, and we've had music at almost every single one of them. We didn't have music when we were out at Truman Waterfront Park because that was just too much. But I had applied for a grant last year for the Community Foundation, which was their Impact for Good, and we wanted to bring performing arts to the visual arts. So this is our 15th year of
Mm.
doing the Connections Project, and it's a lot of fundraising, some fundraising. We ask people to make a contribution of $100 and they get to take home the canvas of their choice, which is always really fun. And I always explain it. You go to one of our banks or something, and there's an incentive to open a checking account and they give you a pen or a beach towel or something. So you make a contribution to the Arts Council and you get to take home a piece of art, which seems pretty perfect, created, uniquely by one of our great Keys artists. And so I applied for this great grant from the Community Foundation and got funding to have musicians play at these events. And many of them were with the Chambers of Commerce.
Hmm. Mhm.
So we brought art and music to business, which was also an incentive and initiative that we wanted to do. And it's been extremely successful. So tonight we've got a young woman coming up from Key West. Her name is McKenna Carlson, and so she'll be playing in the gallery too. So it'll be fun. And of
Yeah.
course, wine and food and art and friends.
What else could you ask for?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. That's what I said.
Liz Young, she's Executive Director, Florida Keys Council of the Arts on Good Morning Keys. And goodness gracious, we're into the end of March, already into April. High season
Oh,
is here. Theater is in full swing. Stage productions, film, everything, live music. There's so much going on around town and around the Keys these days.
there is, and our calendar is bursting. Yesterday, we got our new Keys Arts Quarterly, a very pretty spring green. So look for it. We're going to be mailing it out and distributing it. You can get it at all the chambers of commerce, along with our culture magazine, and of course, the gallery guide. So those are our tools that we share with everybody. They're also available online. You're right. Some great theater happening. We're wrapping up. Let's see. Last night was the Tennessee Williams celebration birthday party, which of course Quaz does. If you did not see the opening of the food, celebrating conch cuisine and cultural cuisine, it's at the Key West Art and Historical Society up, I think, all spring and summer. It is in both downstairs galleries. It's a fantastic show. Of course, the Key West Wood Carvers Society, only in Key West,
Yeah.
Fabulous Wood Carver Society. Their show is up at the Williams Hall, and it is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I can't say enough about it. And I think it's Tuesday the 31st.
Yes. It
Tuesday's
is.
the 31st. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the Fringe Theater is partnering and doing some Tennessee Williams smaller one act plays, not often done, with a great cast. And they're performing at Williams Hall Tuesday night to wrap up the Tennessee Williams celebration, which always happens around the birthday. Um, I think it's another week before Waterfront opens with their new play called Accomplice.
Yes.
The Red Barn has a new show up. Something, A Star in the Sky? No. Oh my God, I can't remember the title. Anyway, Red
I,
Barn's got a new show with Mimi McDonald and a really great cast.
yeah, it looks like Accomplice does open. I think it is next week. I'm
I
just,
think it is next week, right
yeah,
after Easter and Passover. And the
yeah.
Red Barn has their show up, and Fringe has got another show opening. And it's just busy, 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 busy. Artisan Market this weekend has been very successful, beautifully run by Jill and her team. I know Walk on White and Murata Way just happened. Of course, the last Walk on White for the summer will be in April, but Murata Way keeps happening. Marathon Community Theater's got a show up. So, and as you mentioned, music and museums. We sponsored with an Art Builds community grant a wonderful program at the History of Diving Museum. If you've not been in the diving museum, in addition to their permanent collection and display, they've got a program they did with, I think, 11 of the 13 public schools in Monroe County, plus a couple of the charter schools. It's called Dive into Art.
Hmm.
And they used 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and a couple other books this year to explain what happens in the ocean. And they read books, and then they did visual art programs, and it's fantastic. We saw it last. I was up there 10 days ago. So if there's a rainy day or a too hot day, go to one of the museums with your family or kids visiting or grandkids visiting. History of Dive Museum is just very child friendly. And of course, all of our other museums in Key West are just wonderful too.
They are. Liz Young, Executive Director of Florida Keys Council of the Arts on Good Morning Keys. And yes, just a self-serving plug, Yacht Rock 93.7, our sister station. I broadcast live from all of the Key West artisan markets and get to visit with all the artisans there every Sunday during high season. And this Sunday, they're celebrating One Human Family featuring Key West Business Guild on site. They always feature a nonprofit or charity
Yes.
organization at the artisan market. And those are a wonderful curated outdoor market there featuring very talented local artists.
And I think there's always food and beverages too,
Oh,
right? You
yes.
have a good time. You probably have breakfast there, right?
Full bar. I avoid the full bar while I'm working, but yeah, there's and there's a number of food vendors with cuisine from around the world, fresh produce, Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So that's 10 to 2, Sonny McCoy
Yeah.
at Visioners Park. A
And
couple
it's sort of like the social gathering too,
Oh yeah.
right? You see everybody
Mhm.
and everybody's out and about.
Yeah,
What could be better? And I think we'll have good weather this weekend.
I think
I
so.
know tonight is the college's big party,
Yes.
which is going to be terrific. I was talking to the mayor yesterday. We did a ribbon cutting at the Lower Keys Medical Center. I helped curate new artwork
Oh yeah.
for the lobby from local artists living and working in the Florida Keys. The marvelously talented Jim Salem, Maggie Rulli, Aaron Nelson, and Andy Thurber now have permanent artwork in the lobby.
Oh wow.
So it's not like hotel art in the lobby anymore. So I'm very proud and I'm thankful to my artists. They gave us permission. It was sort of a really interesting initiative with the new CEO and marketing and the head of nursing. We had a whole selection committee to pick art that would be uplifting and calming and colorful and local and feels like Key West. And each artist granted permission to make 5 prints. And in the 25 new rooms, there's one of each of the 5 prints that are now oh my God, so hard. The originals are in the lobby,
Yeah.
5 prints of each of those, and those 25 prints are scattered in the new 25 renovated rooms that all got new bathroom fixtures, new sinks, new paint, new flooring, really lovely, lovely rooms. And it was fantastic. And they were reproduced on like the acrylic. That sort of
Mhm.
new look. Some people print photography on metal or acrylic, but in a hospital setting, they're on acrylic so they can be cleaned.
Mm.
And we got to go up and see one of the new rooms, and I was there with the mayor and Carrie Baker and the hospital staff. So I
Mm.
hope you
Yeah.
don't have to go to the hospital anytime soon. But if you're in one of those rooms or in the lobby, looking good over there.
Well, yeah. If we do end up in the hospital, we'll have some wonderful art to look at. Yeah, I saw Drew Bigby, or the CEO of the hospital. He was also at the chamber event as well. So that's a really
He's
nice touch
terrific.
that they're adding that art to brighten up the place as best we
Yeah, and
can.
I rearranged the furniture in the lobby, and then this fabulous gentleman, Cecil, who does everything, he just does it all. They put new lighting in the lobby for the 5 new
Oh,
paintings, and yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Very
So I got
cool.
to see the mayor, so I know everybody's going tonight to the college, and
Yes, 60th
but I
anniversary, Seaside Soiree. That'll be really nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I hope you're able to get there. I know you've got the pop up though. That's tough.
hmm
So yeah, yeah. So
And there's also, I should mention, Keys Corral
okay.
is having their spring concert, and they picked tonight also. So of course I can't go to that, and I've got board members and friends singing, and I think it's a tribute to women composers tonight.
Oh,
And
nice.
because St. Paul's is under renovation, they are going to be at the Old Stone Church, the Methodist Church, the corner of Eaton and Symington.
Okay, very good.
So wonderful music if you enjoy chorale.
Mm.
Choral, I guess I said it's really choral music by the chorale.
That gets a little confusing,
I
especially
need more coffee.
with our ecosystem here. When you say coral, some people think it's in the ocean. That's so
That's right.
anyway. Yes, yes.
Very
Make
good.
that distinction. Well, I've got some people waiting on me now, but Liz, anything else we
Okay.
should mention at this point?
Well, please visit our website, keysarts.com. We are seeking business partners to
Yes.
become members. We're focused on that category. It's a $450 membership. I have a goal of 5 new members in all 5 regions. So if you are out there and you love the arts, we're going to do a lot of social media posts promoting our new business members, supporting arts and culture throughout the Keys. So that's a shameless plug. If you're anywhere near Big Pine, stop in the gallery tonight. It's going to be a great event. And then we've got 2 more events that'll be in Key West because we've been up the Keys, as you know.
Yes.
I will be at Royal Furniture with the last pop up. I think it's the 22nd, Earth Day. It's a Wednesday. And we will also be at Williams Hall on the 17th of April doing a gather round series,
Oh.
learning about the new inaugural Key West Playwrights Festival that Mike Marrero is leading. So
Oh.
that'll be a great event.
Yeah.
And it's all on our website. And of course, Cultural Umbrella and grant applications are on the grants page. Happy to help with those.
Yes, keysarts.com. Again, the Florida Keys Council of the Arts, the leading in arts and cultural organization in the Florida Keys, and you do so much to promote and advocate for our artists and for our arts in the Keys. So thank you, Liz.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a
Yeah,
beautiful weekend.
You do the same. Thank
All
you.
right.
You take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye now. Liz Young, Executive Director, Florida Keys Council of the Arts, with us on Good Morning Keys, and we will return in a moment.
Life is full of moments, the small ones, the big ones, the once-in-a-week moments, the once-in-a-lifetime moment, the silly moments, the serious moments, the funny moments, and the sweet moments, the moment you've been waiting for. I'm Armando Gonzalez, president and owner of Blue Marlin Jewelry in Islamorada and Key West. You choose the moment and we'll make it unforgettable. We have a wonderful selection of quality jewelry you won't find in other stores, hand-selected from artists, including our signature collection, Tacori, Roberto Coin, genuine Natosha coins, and so much more. We'll help you select the right piece of jewelry that will ensure that whenever the occasion, whatever the moment, she'll remember it for years to come. Blue Marlin Jewelry, 81549 Old Highway in Islamorada, and now in Key West, 718 Caroline Street. Both locations are open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5 on Sunday. Visit us at bluemarlinjewelry.com.
Hey Key West, Danny Hughes here from Two Friends. Really from Two Friends. So Maura and I were sitting at breakfast in the bar listening to live music at 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. She's about to enjoy some huevos rancheros and me shrimp and grits with fried oysters. Heart healthy. And Maura says, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. It was perfect because we didn't move here because Key West is like a lot of other places. We moved here because it isn't like any other place on earth. So meet your friends or make your friends at Two Friends, 512 Front Street in Old Town Key West, or twofriends.com.
The Greenhouse. Have you been there yet? We even spell it with 3 E's to help you smile when you say it. That's our goal. We carry the largest selection of hemp-derived THC and CBD products in Monroe County. If you've been taking medication for anxiety, depression, inflammation, lack of sleep, or muscle and joint pain, and it's just not working, or you don't like the side effects, we can help. If you're looking to chill, relax, escape, focus, or even break out into euphoric fits of laughter, we can help there too. No medical card is needed. You just have to be 21 or over. Our 3 locations are open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. In Key West, we're at 431 Front Street, just in front of Mallory Square. In Marathon, you can find us at mile marker 52 at 10875 Overseas Highway. In Key Largo, we're at 99304 Overseas Highway in the middle of the road. Swing on by, share your goals with us, and we'll recommend a product to help you reach them. And we back our recommendations with a 100% money-back guarantee. The Greenhouse. Stop on by and find out what the buzz is all about today.
Visit one of the 12 locations of the Greenhouse, including 9 in the Keys and featuring their newest store at 3128 North Roosevelt, Key West.
If it's happening in the Keys, you will hear about it here. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys did have another accident. An accident make that earlier. Boca Chica area, US 1, 6-mile marker. No injuries being reported. That is good, but causing a few slowdowns here. We're going to say good morning to Ron Saunders. He's the village manager for the village of Islamorada, former state legislator as well. Good morning to you, Ron.
Good morning, Michael.
Hi. So I've seen you around a few times here. Well, we see each other a lot up and down the Keys, and you certainly put in your time and your service and continue to do so. Good to see you at the Rotary Club meeting yesterday, and I'm sure I've seen you many other places, but you were busy serving and putting your hat on as president of the Higher Education Council. Do I have it right?
The Monroe County Education Foundation.
Okay.
And it oversees the Take Stock in Children Scholarship and Mentoring Program. So we do the fundraising and oversight of it. And last night we had a great event. We had Eugene Robinson, the Pulitzer Prize winning columnist. He's written a book. And so it was a fundraiser for Take Stock in Children. And we had a reception for him. And then we had him give a 45-minute speech about what the next 3.5 years is going to look like for the country. And then he also did a question and answer. Mandy Miles, who is a good friend of both of ours, is the editor of the Keys Weekly newspaper, the Key West section. She helped with the interviews and then also did questions from the audience. So it was a great program. Robinson is a super guy. He was down here about in 2017 and did some events. We asked him back down. He was a guest of former school superintendent John Patchett. he stays at John's compound on Francis Street in Key West. And so it was a great event and raised a lot of money for Take Stock in Children. So we certainly appreciated that.
Good, good. And I had the pleasure of speaking with him on the air here for a good while yesterday morning, and that's archived on our website. But he's a fascinating, very knowledgeable, very accomplished individual. And he tipped his hat off to Take Stock in Children as well several times. What a great organization it is, and we thank you for your service as well in that regard. And also, you served on the board of the College of the Florida Keys. If I'm not mistaken, there is a building in your family name and in your name at the campus, and you'll be at the Seaside Soiree as we celebrate 60 years of the College of the Florida Keys.
Yeah, it'll be at East Martello Tower tonight. It's the 60th anniversary, and I have some connections as well as my family. A little history. My father, Jack Saunders, was a state legislator back in 1960, and he, as a House member, and Senator John Spotswood, our state senator, filed the legislation that created the college. It was created by the legislature, and then it went into effect, I think, 6 years later. So my dad helped create the college. And then when I was in my early 20s, Governor Bob Graham appointed me to the college board, and I became chairman. I mentioned yesterday at Rotary that I was the youngest board chair in history. That was the good news. The bad news, I was like over 40 years ago, so I'm no longer the youngest anything. But certainly I was the board chair. Then after that, I was elected to the legislature. And 4 years after I was elected, I became the Appropriations Committee chairman in charge of state budget, which was good timing because the college campus was having a lot of problems, the buildings. We were able to basically completely renovate the campus, build new buildings. And to this day, the campus is a model of what a college campus should look like. And Dr. G and the staff do a great job at the college. And I always try to be supportive. So tonight I'll be back in Key West for that 60th anniversary. Once again, East Martello Towers. It's also a fundraiser for the college. And so hopefully we'll get a good turnout tonight.
Yeah, we had another event similar to it in the Upper Keys and celebrating the Upper Keys campus as well, which has come online more recently than 60 years ago. But again, right in your backyard there of Islamorada, just up the road with the campus in the Upper Keys and also the marathon offerings as well. So College of the Florida Keys serving the entire Florida Keys, and what an asset it has been over these 60 years. Thank you so much to your father and your contributions to higher education here in the Florida Keys. It is Ron Saunders. He is manager of the Village of Islamorada on Good Morning Keys. Well, continues to be a busy time with the Village, and I did see that there's a baseball field license agreement available online that redlined. You as an attorney know intimately what that means, and that is available for viewing as those conversations continue.
Well, for the past 25 years, the Montgomery County School Board has had a partnership with the Village of Islamorada. We own Founders Park, and 25 years ago, we had a partnership where the school district came in and paid for the field, and Coral Shores High School baseball team has used it. That agreement expires. We've been negotiating for almost a year now to get an interlocal agreement, which we now have, and then a baseball license agreement, which we're still negotiating. The issue basically now is that our village council on a 5-0 vote on January 8th passed our version of a baseball license agreement, but then the school board passed a different version. And just like budgets in the House and Senate, you have to be the same. And so right now there are some differences. I did have a good discussion yesterday with School Superintendent Ed Tierney. He and I have a good relationship. In fact, he's on my Take Stock in Children board. And so we talk quite often. And we went through some of the differences and trying to see if we can resolve some of those differences. We do want to work together. We both want to have the field continue operational with the high school team. We've agreed to the proposal to have artificial turf, for example. There's still some details. We want a high quality field. We want to have input on the specifications and the drainage, et cetera. And I think we're close to some of these things, but we want to work out the final details. So he and I had a good discussion yesterday on the ball field, and hopefully we'll reach a conclusion relatively soon.
Mm-hmm. And Founders Park is such an asset and such a beautiful gem in the Upper Keys, operated by the Village of Islamorada. It is a free facility for residents and their guests as well. There's some updates on some other fees that do apply to non-residents and the like. You can find out information about that, islamorada.fl.us for more as well. So,
and speaking of Founders Park, by the way, we'll have thousands of people there this weekend. This weekend, the Islamorada Chamber of Commerce is hosting what's called Island Fest.
Yes.
And it's going to be tomorrow, Saturday, and also Sunday from 10 to 5. And it's going to be a lot of live music performances. We're going to have a smoked fish dip contest on Sunday. We have a lot of events for the kids. And the admission is free to the Island Fest. I think that they're going to charge $10 for parking if you want to park inside the park. But I went to it last year. It's a great event. A lot of people coming. We have kite flying, sand sculpting on the beach. We have art for the kids, hula hooping, sand castles. There's a boat thing where it's not really a boat. It's like whatever it can float, but it's not supposed to be a boat. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of food trucks that'll be showing up. So once again, tomorrow and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, from 10 to 5 at Founders Park, which is around mile marker 86, about 87, mile marker 87. It's on the left side, it's on the Gulf side if you're coming up. And the other thing is, if you're not coming, be aware that there'll be some traffic backups, because when you have that many people show up at one spot and some of them are crossing the highway, so just be aware if you're coming through the Islamorada area around mile marker 87, you may experience some traffic delays.
Yeah, we just had the gigantic nautical market hosted by the Upper Keys Rotary Club, and that was a resounding success once again. And now the event this weekend will also be successful, and best of luck to the Almirada Chamber of Commerce in that event. I'm sure it will be, as I said, a resounding success. Not as many people in attendance, hopefully. Otherwise, you would have a big bill to feed a lot of people. But it's Plates and Plans also coming up at the Founders Park Community Center. A lot of the municipalities are talking about transparency and involving citizens in their policy making. Islamorada has been doing that, and you're endeavoring to do even more collaboration with Plates and Plans, the casual lunch conversations with village planning staff. No pressure, just stop by, grab a bite, talk about what matters to you. That is set for April 15th at the community center at Founders Park.
Yeah, from 11 to 1, our planning director set it up, and basically we're going to have some sandwiches, et cetera, just to have the community come in, probably mostly people who do planning, but also just if you have any questions. We're trying to do a lot more outreach to the community, and we'll probably do with our building department another type of thing like this, because I think the more you let people know what you're doing, the more they appreciate the services we provide. So we're trying to have more input from the public. And this past year, I set up a budget review task force that had 5 citizens that gave us input on our village budget. We had a baseball task force that helped give me input on the interlocal agreement and the baseball license agreement. So I think the more you involve the citizens, the better. We currently have a charter review committee that's been meeting, and probably is getting close to concluding. A 5-member committee appointed by the council looking at possible changes to our village charter, which is like our constitution. And so a lot of citizen input, which I think is important. And I think it helps people have more confidence in what we're doing when they have more input. Instead of just learning about it on great shows like yours or in the newspaper, they can see it firsthand. So I think that's important to do, and we want to keep doing that.
Yes. Ron Saunders, he's village manager of Village of Islamorada on Good Morning Keys. And then we have a village council meeting coming up April 7th. The agenda is probably not yet set for that, but any other issues that we should make people aware of or updates regarding the Village of Islamorada?
Well, obviously, just as the rest of the Keys, we have a shortage of affordable workforce housing. And we want, a lot of for example, our staff commutes from either Key Largo or even from Dade County. Most of our firefighters don't live down here. They have to commute. And so we had a piece of property called the Machado property, which is around mile marker 88.5. And then we bought, and it was just been sitting vacant. So we actually went out for a request for qualifications, and we got 2 submissions Wednesday. We had the opening of the submissions, and we got 2 of them. One is a company not in the county, but the other one's from Habitat for Humanity. So what we're looking to do is we'll put up the property, they put up the housing, and it has to be obviously income restricted, but we're looking at that. So that we should have a committee doing those evaluations probably relatively soon, because we like to get it before the council and see how many units they can put on there, et cetera. So workforce housing, as the rest of the Keys, is important. Also, we're trying to keep cars off the highway. And so we have right now what's called Freebie, which is a point-to-point rideshare program. The Freebie was going to expire in June. And so we went ahead and put our request for proposals out to see if other companies wanted to give us the best price. We want to basically look at maintaining the service, but seeing what kind of numbers there are as far as financial. We're looking to make sure we get the best value. So Freebie is probably going to apply again, but also other companies may. So we want to see what they do. And in conjunction with that, we just got alerted yesterday that the Florida Department of Transportation renewed our grant. It's a matching grant with the state of Florida. So we pay for the freebie rideshare. We pay half the cost, and then the state of Florida pays half the cost. So we apply for a grant it's actually a year from now, because DOT does things in advance. So we did submit for that. And so we've gotten approval now for the 50/50. So anything we can do to take cars off the highway, we want to do that. We're actually looking at maybe a trolley or loop, kind of like Key West had with the Duval Loop, where we have pick up and drop off around the village. And so that's another thing we're going to be looking at some funding for, and maybe go to TDC, et cetera. So I think, those are things we want to do to keep traffic off the highway. Another issue we're working on is our wastewater. We've had some issues with wastewater up here in the past. We have an aging wastewater system. We've had some leaks and breaks, and we're working with DEP to fix that. We've got a project going on. We have what's called a smart ball going through the pipeline, which will be evaluating the status of the pipeline for wastewater. So we're looking at making repairs there. And we also have a group called Raftellus who's doing a rate study. We have not looked at our rates for years. We want to make sure we're doing those properly. So that's an ongoing study. We hope we'll have that results maybe sometime in May. We also have in addition to Founders Park, we have some other great areas. We have what's called the Green Turtle Hammock Nature Preserve, it's a great facility there, a lot of nature walks, but we also have what's called the Russell Cottage. There, it's an old house that we've turned into an environmental center. For years, Florida Bay Forever has been the lead person, the lead organization there. Their executive director, Jody Serra, does a good job, but other organizations want to use it too. So we reached a tentative agreement where Florida Bay Forever can stay there, but then other organizations like Audubon Society, Surf Riders, et cetera, would share the space. And they're going to do environmental education programs. So it's a great opportunity for people to come in there, take a nature walk. We have a pavilion now on the water on the Gulf that they can use for various events. And so if you haven't ever been to the Green Turtle Hammock Nature Preserve, it's a wonderful place to go to. And we'll be doing a lot of environmental programs. We've done like bird watches and releases of wildlife, et cetera. So that's one of the other places in Islamorada that if you've never been, there's some hidden gems, and that's certainly one of them. We're also looking at basically trying to just be better about our landscaping. We want to make this place beautiful, so we're spending some money. We have a landscaping fund. We are trying to spend some money on landscaping. In addition, being from Key West, I'm very into the arts, and I hired a cultural coordinator, Emily Rother's done a great job. We've had the artists come in, for example, and put their art in public places. In the Founders Park meeting room at the Village Hall, they're coming in and basically putting up their artwork. We've had a reception for the artists to recognize their contributions to our economy up here. So we're pushing the cultural side of Islamorada also.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, I just had the conversation earlier in the hour with Liz Young from Florida Keys Council of the Arts. And arts are alive and well in the Keys, and it's great to see Islamorada promoting those artists and their works as well. It is Ron Saunders, Village Manager, Village of Islamorada. You can find out more, islamorada.fl.us online. Sign up for the newsletter and alerts and stay informed on what's happening in your village of Islamorada. Well, with that, Ron, I'm sure you've got a lot of other things to get to, but we look forward to seeing you again this evening. And I think with that, we can let you call it a day.
Well, I appreciate it. It was great to see you in the mornings, and I look forward to seeing you tonight.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Same here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Bye now. Ron Saunders. He's the Village Manager, Village of Islamorada. On Good Morning Keys, we'll be right back with more in just a moment.
Tree limb striking power lines is a top cause of power outages in the Florida Keys. While Keys has a robust tree trimming program to keep outages to a minimum, with your help, our efforts can go further. If you're planting a new tree, consider how tall a mature tree will be and choose a location where it won't interfere with power lines. Keep your trees trimmed at least 10 feet from all power lines. And if your tree is already growing near power lines, do not attempt to trim it yourself. Instead, submit a request at keysenergy.com and we will trim it for you free of charge. At Keys Energy, we're working to keep us all safe and the lights on.
Historic Pepe's Cafe in Key West, founded in 1909, still does things the old way. Diachronic, if you will. How about fresh squeezed juices? Think how good that margarita or Greyhound will taste. Blue Point oysters shucked to order because oysters work better that way. Fresh breads and outstanding specials in an eatery that opened the same year Ole Evinrude invented the first outboard motor. And get a jump on someone's birthday and check out our retail offerings for some great gift ideas. Pepe's Cafe, Old Town Key West, of course.
Step back in time. Step back into Old Town. Step into Old Town Bakery with fresh baked treats like pastries, cookies, brownies, and fresh breads made every morning. Enjoy hot and cold, delicious ground coffee, always brewing, and handcrafted breakfast and lunch sandwiches made to order on oven fresh breads. And now, Old Town Bakery features spinach mushroom feta quiche and ham and cheese quiche, delectable for breakfast or lunch by the slice. Get a whole quiche pie by ordering in store with 24 hours advance notice. Enjoy new cream-filled croissants with chocolate or vanilla filling and award-winning fresh baked pies, including their key lime pie, voted the best in the Keys. Pick up their unique Old Town Bakery t-shirts for a friend or yourself and give the gift of deliciousness with a gift card available for purchase in store. And their catering menu is available to make that next event memorable. Old Town Bakery on the corner of Eaton and Grinnell. Stop in or order online. Old Town Bakery, KeyWest.com.
Keys Auto Center, the Keys hometown dealership.
Hey folks, Stephen Bender here at Key West Toyota. Tacomas and Camrys and Tundras, oh my! We've got one of our largest selections in stock and on the way right now. And with our exclusive deal match guarantee, you know you're getting the right deal. So come see the people you know, like, and trust right here on the Boulevard or KeyWestToyota.com. We've got the keys.
Everything you need is here at Keys Auto Center.
The voice of Monroe County, yours. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And Good Morning Keys, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. And we're actually going to have further conversations at noon from Blue Marlin Jewelry. They feature a lot of charitable organizations in our community. And we'll be continuing conversations with a number of those leaders, including our next guest. Hannah Edwards is with us from the Community Foundation of the Florida Keys. And I understand you're going to be joining us at lunchtime as well.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be. And we look forward to seeing you there. And we enjoy seeing you here now as well. So the Community Foundation of the Florida Keys, dedicated to strengthening the Florida Keys for nearly 3 decades by building long-term and permanent funds that provide grants, scholarships, and critical support to nonprofit organizations. That's a pretty accurate description, with over $36 million in community grants over those years. That number continues to climb.
Yeah, it's been exciting. This is our 30th year. So we're having our 30th anniversary coming up in May, and we're going to do an annual meeting for the first time. We have not typically done an annual meeting. So we thought we would start the annual meetings going this year to celebrate our 30th. So we're going to have an annual meeting on May 6th and talk about what's happened in the last 30 years and where we want to go from here.
Well, there's been a lot over the past 30 years. Also, not to be overshadowed, over $3 million in disaster relief funding due to the fact that we've had some storms and some disasters over those past 30 years. But so many ways that the Community Foundation provides the conduit to help those in our community. And it's all dependent upon people taking part as donors, whether it's during their lifetime or beyond.
It's true. You know, if you really care about this community, it's a great way to give back to the community. What we do is we invest donors' money together with the money that we also collect. And then because we're investing together, we get better rates and better investment gains. And then we grant that money back out to the community. So our annual grants program, the first year that they did it was 1997. They granted out about $18,000 that year. And this past year, we granted out over $1 million. So, you know, it continues to grow. And that's thanks to all the donors that come into that together with us.
Yeah, so CFFK, a 501c3 charitable organization as well. So that giving is tax exempt.
That's right. We are a nonprofit organization, although we also aid and support all the nonprofit organizations in the Keys. That is one of our functions, is to support capacity building and training for the nonprofits in the Florida Keys. So we have various programming for the nonprofits. We have our Leadership Success Academy, which is for nonprofit leaders and board members. It's a training that is going to take place this fall. We usually did it in the spring, but there's just so much going on in the spring, as I'm sure you know. Something every night, you know. So we moved it to the fall this year, and we're hoping that'll be a little bit less chaotic. Then we also have our nonprofit day, which is a great day. It is in Marathon. It's typically in September, and it's a day that all the nonprofit professionals can gather for a day of learning and networking. And it's a really nice thing because, you know, we all know how geographically challenged we are here in the Keys. So you may be working in Key West and you don't get to meet your peers in Isla Mirada that often. So it's a nice way to be able to do that. And some of the connections born out of that are really exciting. You know, you have different nonprofits collaborating on things that you just wouldn't have even thought they would collaborate on. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. Well, Community Foundation of the Florida Keys, as I mentioned, is really a conduit for funding, but also connecting charities and those, everybody in the community, let's put it that way, because the Community Foundation really does bring all of them together, and it is a fantastic way, as you mentioned, to give back to your community. Your investment in your community grows through the expertise of the Community Foundation and then goes back out to the community to do the most good. So, Hannah, I don't want to steal our thunder for our talk at noon, but what else should we highlight at this point before we let you get on with your busy day?
Well, I would encourage people that are curious about the Community Foundation to attend our annual meeting. It's going to be May 6th at the Tennessee Williams Theater. We're going to have a little trustee reception for all our past and present trustees prior to the public meetings. The public meeting will start at 6:30, and I would just encourage everybody to come out and check us out.
So that is open to all then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
May 6th it is. We'll talk more about that in just a little while, but we'll let you get on with your day, and we'll see you shortly then.
Okay, fantastic.
Thanks so much for being here, Hannah. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
It is Hannah Edwards. She's with us from the Community Foundation of the Florida Keys on Good Morning Keys. Well, it is 9:06 now. We're getting set for Glenn Beck. He'll bring us up to date on all of the world's events and give us commentary as well. But things ever changing here. It's very important to stay informed and engaged. We'll help you do just that. Glenn Beck coming up until noon. Then it's Clay and Buck. Noon to 3 o'clock, Sean Hannity, 5 o'clock, Drew Steele and Florida's Voice, 6 o'clock, Mark Levin, the Great One, 9 o'clock, Jesse Kelly, Coast to Coast AM, overnight as well. Dr. B, AUC with Dr. Bruce Boros happens tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., as well as news is updated to local, state, and national versions every half hour. Breaking news as soon as it happens, weather around the clock as well. It's all on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. We'll talk to you at noon, live from Blue Marlin Jewelry at Caroline Street in Old Town, Key West, as we continue to highlight community spotlight and charitable organizations in our community and have lunch, compliments of Old Town Bakery. Come down and join us from noon till 1, 718 Caroline Street, with Blue Marlin Jewelry and Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Thanks for listening.